And Gabriel came to visit God in their warm and sunny land, and found God sitting lost in thought, a soul held in his hand. "What are you up to, my dear Lord? What makes you toil so long? I thought you wouldn't need much time to fill that soul with song." "I did that first," replied the Lord, "but then it came to me, why not add some other things? There's room enough, you see. His path will be a thorny one, and often bleak and grim, for friends he'll want and comfort too will be denied to him. He'll feel the pain of being one who's locked behind the door. For things he has no way to change, he'll hurt and suffer more. But Lord, with all the troubles that you've put into his life, how can he overcome all that? Rejection, fear, and strife. Look here, my dear Gabriel, look deep inside his core. I've woven in these threads of steel, they'll hold forevermore." Douglas Timothy Matthews, also known as Doogie, was born February the 18th, 1963. But in 1976, on June the 21st, he was diagnosed with the severest form of leukemia, AML. He was just 15, a long-haired hippie type who loved the Beatles, Peter Frampton, and Three Dog Night. As his mother, Doogie and I began a 3+ year journey that would end in an incredible, spectacular spiritual experience. Throughout that time, Doogie would go into long remissions following his chemotherapy and would seem perfectly fine for a while. Then the symptoms would reappear and the trips to MD Anderson would start all over again, always less effective. As a person of faith, I prayed continually for him and would play Jesus Movement albums within his hearing. One Christmas morning, I had Terry Clark's Welcome playing on the speakers aimed at his room. It was like an anointed river of glowing light flowing down the hallway that drew him out. And he came and sat in his favorite gold chair, raised his hands with tears streaming down, began worshiping Jesus, who he kept repeating, "I can't believe that Jesus has visited me on his birthday." And he kept repeating that. And Doogie was overwhelmed with the love of Jesus for him. This was the major turning point for him spiritually, as he began reading his Bible, drawing inspired sketches, writing prayers and poems throughout the remaining time leading up to his departure. Of course, we prayed for his healing, but he never grew angry or bitter towards God or anything or anybody. He was a true faith warrior, and his reward was about to be revealed as he went into a major chemo hemorrhage in the hospital. Soon Doogie would become comatose, as his Uncle Byron and I kept a bedside vigil. Soon other family members were called in. We knew that he was nearing the end. Due to the hemorrhaging, he couldn't have possibly had any mental cognition. Totally unable to open his eyes or utter a word all this time. We didn't know if he knew we were even there. After a few days, suddenly he started acting excited, as if leaping for joy. Much to our total surprise and shock, then he began shouting, "It's Jesus! It's Jesus!" I made it. I made it. What an absolute miraculous moment in time and eternity for all who were in that room in that moment. God had comforted me by allowing me to witness Doogie's first steps with Jesus through the valley of the shadow of death and on into heaven. In dedication, until we meet again face to face, all we have of you, Doogie, are memories and the loving courage you gave to each of us. Your talents, arts, and writing you've left with us, and it is a very important part of remembering you. Your art reflects your sense of humor and boundless creativity. Your writing also reflects the sensitivity and spirituality of your heart and soul. You were and are an exceptional individual, and your ability to express yourself by these means reveals your insight and depth, your approach to life and to those around you. And we are still in awe at your courage and bravery as you walked so valiantly through an overwhelming trial. This video represents actually a few of the gifts that you left for us, and we are made to remember you, a very special person who taught us all a vital lesson in love, faith, and endurance. With everlasting love, your mother and all of your family and friends. And your Aunt Donna wrote a poem about you titled He Made It. I still can see him now, perched in his chair, love in defiance of the pain and sorrow there. His laughter and his wisdom cutting through the bitterness and helplessness we knew. I still remember how he sought to share a truth far greater than our hearts could bear. And there beside his bed we held his hand and sought in silent prayer to understand. I made it, he cried, and then we knew his Father's hand reached out and brought him through. Amen. 50 years today is your birthday, and 30 years since you went to be with Jesus. We love and miss you, Doogie. There's no words to express. Thank you. Thank you for loving Jesus and loving us, and for what you suffered for our sake as well, so that our faith could grow strong through your testimony and through the others that we've handed your tracts out to. We'll know all this in eternity. Amen.